The combination is very peculiar.
But
The macho side and the other side.
it's a traditional English thing from Drake or whatever on to go everywhere, you know. But I do find myself in English parts of the world, and it's very interesting.
Do you have many English friends in New York at the moment, John?
Well, as the Moonlight on the Water song says, no friends and yet no enemies. I'm either working or family-oriented. I don't do a lot of socializing with people of any nationality. And offhand, I can't think of anybody, English or American, that I particularly hang around with. We've been self-involved since we met, and we're totally self-contained.
Self-contained.
I mean, when Elton or Bowie or Mick are around and we're in the mood to mix, we see them. Oh, they're English, right? I forget. You see, I don't always divide people into nationality, you know. I mean, it's just Bowie's in town now doing Elephant Man.
Yeah, we saw it last night.
I haven't seen it, but I would consider him a friend or acquaintance. I don't know how close you'd put it, because I've worked with him and we both know him. So in that respect, the rockers that come through, I see them.
So if we go back to May 69 and we talk about Life with the Lions, Yoko, you were in bed on the cover, I think I'm right in saying.
Yes, we had a miscarriage or something, did we?
But you had a miscarriage and I was there.
Right, exactly.
Reality of it.
Yes, you'd had great problems, hadn't you, conceiving?
I know. We had many miscarriages.
We did?
Yes, about 3 maybe.
Yeah, enough to make us miserable about it, you know, think we could never have a child. But we did. An English doctor told me something wrong with my sperm, you know, because of the hard life I'd led. And he said I could never have a baby, that we could never have a baby because of me. But we met this Chinese acupuncturist in San Francisco. He said, "What don't you worry? You have baby. You just be a good boy. Eat well. No drugs, no drink." And that's what I did. And we had a baby.
And Sean is living proof.
He is, yeah.
He is. Right.
Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah.
Briefly dealing with that album, one side was called Cambridge 69.
Ah.
That interests me. Why Cambridge 69?
Oh, that was funny because that was around the time that... why was it 69?
Oh, okay. I know the story
anyway,
backwards, but you can
I was
tell it.
invited. Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, it was your story.
I was invited to Cambridge to do a number. Sort of
This is
avant-garde
independent
number.
of me, though. There's nothing to do with
And
me.
they didn't realize that we were together, so to speak.
This was to do with the university, I will.
Yeah,
I will
Cambridge
presume.
University.
Just before we got married, I suppose, you know, whatever. So they didn't realize that, and they invited me, and so I said, well, all right, what shall I do? And Joan said, well, it's all right, why don't you go? And they're saying, well, are you going to bring a band or what? So Joan said, well, I'm the band, but don't tell them, you know. I'll be the band. So I said, yes, I'll bring a band.
When we arrived in Cambridge, and it was supposed to be a avant-garde, that word again, jazz thing, right? And there was a guy called John Chakai, who was apparently a famous avant-garde sax guy, or jazz sax guy. I didn't know any of them. And a few people that I don't remember the names of, they were there too. And I turned up as her band, you know. And the people were looking and said, is it? You know, I just had a guitar and an amp, and that was the first time I played that style, just pure feedback and whatever it is on that track. And the audience were very weird, because they were all these sort of intellectual artsy-fartsies from Cambridge. They were uptight because the rock and roll guy was there, even though I wasn't doing any rhythm. If you hear it, it's just pure sound. Yeah. Because what else can you do when a woman's howling? You know, you just go along with it, right?
They were totally silent.
They were totally silent.
Polite.
Well, the reaction I got from the quote-unquote avant-garde group, not only in Cambridge, it was the same reaction that she got from the rock and roll people, like, what's she doing here?
Yes.
Or when I was doing the stuff with her, this little tight-knit avant-garde scene would be who the hell is he? He's one of those pop. So we were both getting slack for not being in the right bag.
Do you think they noticed that it was you? Because, I mean, they
You bet they noticed. They were trying so hard not to notice. You know that when you go in a restaurant, you can always tell people are trying not to look at you. You know, they're being cool, and you pick up this sort of vibes, or whatever you call it, coming from people not looking at you. You know, it's worse than when they look.
So that was Cambridge 1969.
That's Cambridge
A
1969.
visit to the university.
Right,
Back in 69, July the 4th, the Plastic Ono Band single Give Peace a Chance, which was number 2 in Britain, and I think is still regarded by a great number of people as being a bit of a classic. Refresh our memories as to why you put that particular song together, because you've fought for a lot of causes, haven't you, the both of you, over the years?
Yeah, we first did the bed-in Amsterdam, and the point of the bed-in a nutshell was a commercial for peace as opposed to a commercial for war, which was on the news every day those days, and the newspapers every day was dismembered bodies and napalm, and we thought, well, why don't they have something nice in the newspapers, that whole thing, you know? And anyway, we did the bed-in. What the bed-in was 7 days, because the press were always asking questions. 7 days that they can ask anything, no secrets, you know. No time limit, like, you know, you come in, take the photographs, then the photographers go away, and then the press are allowed 10 minutes to ask. This was, you come in as long as you like, till you've got everything you need to know about John and Yoko, or what we stand for, or what we are.
Which, knowing the press as I vaguely do, must have dumbfounded them, actually, as an offer.
Well, one of the most hysterical moments was the first day when Don Short and all the gang and Donald Zeck and all them, they were fighting like crazy. We were sitting in the Amsterdam Hilton in the bed like two little kids, you know, with all the posters on the wall.
Flower children.
Flower kids or whatever. These guys were sweating to fight to get in first because they thought we were going to be making love in bed, you see. That's where their minds were at. Because we'd be naked, bed,
right.
John and Yoko, sex. So anyway, try and cut this story down because all of them go on forever. There's so many links to it. We did it again. We tried to do it in New York, but the American government wouldn't let us in. They knew we'd done it in Amsterdam. They didn't want any peaceniks here, which is what we heard the department of whoever controls that said. But we ended up doing it in Montreal instead and broadcasting across the border. You see, and there was live riots at Berkeley at the bed-in in Amsterdam. But after answering all these questions many times, it got down to all we were saying was give peace a chance. Not we have any formula or communism or socialism will answer it or any ism could answer it. We didn't have a format. We couldn't give you a plan.
But just sit
But
down
just consider
and think
the
about
idea
it.
of not having this war. Just consider it. So that's what, in a nutshell, we were saying. So we recorded it in the bedroom of the Montreal Hilton or whatever hotel we were in.
On an 8-track machine, which you had brought up to the room, I gather.
Up to the room, yeah, and there was like Tommy Smothers and Tim Leary and Dick Gregory and old people sort of clapping along and singing on the chorus. And if you hear the record, it's funny actually because my rhythm senses have always been a bit wild. And halfway through it, I got on the on-beat instead of the backbeat, and it was hard because there was non-musicians playing along with us. So I had to put a lot of tape echo to double up the beat to keep a steady beat right through the whole record, so it goes boom, 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 instead of bap, bap,